This fall, as some of you may have noticed, I have enjoyed a little bit of a break from social media. And as it turns out, spending less of my time on screen has really impacted the way that I get dressed in the morning. Today, I'm going to be sharing with you some of the conclusions that I've come to when it comes to my style during this time. Basically, it has resulted in a list of statements. So those are the statements that I'm going to be sharing with you today. And these are, of course, all of my personal opinions. So if you don't think the same way that I do, don't get offended. This is just for fun. I feel like it's a good thing to share because for me personally, I get really affected by what I see on social media and I compare myself with other people a lot. So I think it's good sometimes to just take a step back and really reflect on clothes and what styles makes us feel good rather than what we think other people thinks looks good. So make sure that you also stick around until the end of today's video because I'm also going to be sharing a few questions that might help you on your style journey. But before we dive in, if you're new here, welcome. My name is Louise and I talk about how to engage with fashion in more conscious and sustainable ways. The first conclusion that I've come to is that other people's opinions don't matter. And it may sound obvious, but the moment that you stop dressing to please everyone else is when your personal style really starts to show up. The truth is that most people are too focused on themselves to even notice you or what you're wearing. And at the end of the day, if someone doesn't like your outfit, it's not going to affect your relationship to that person. And if it does, it just speaks more about their qualities rather than yours. So it's a tricky one to get your mind off, but as soon as you start to really focus on what makes you feel good rather than what you think other people will like, that's really when you start to develop your own taste. The second one is if you always dress down, you're gonna get a reaction when you dress up. This one hits quite close to home because here in Sweden, not a lot of people get dressed up a lot. It's very casual a lot of the time, which I personally feel is a shame because when I used to live in London, it was much more of going out, having drinks somewhere. You could wear a pair of heels, no one cares. Everyone dressed up and makes an effort when they go out. Here, you can go into a bar wearing jeans and a sweater, and that's like routine. But what I'm trying to say is if you create your own baseline, so if your baseline is super casual, people are gonna react the moment that you wear something that is slightly more elevated than usual. But that's not like a reason for you to tone it down. I think when you set your own standard, you change your normal. So then you and the people around you are going to feel less surprised when you do dress up because it's more of like, yeah, Louise, she does wear dresses to dinners or she wears heels on Friday. Maybe silly examples, but you kind of get my point, hopefully. My third statement is if you want to be unique, you also need to dress different. This one is maybe a little bit touchy, but we often copy what other people wear, even if that is subconscious or not. We do, of course, come influenced by the people around us, but then at the same time, we have this urge to stand out and be ourselves in our style. So being different, in my opinion, doesn't mean that you need to wear something extreme or you need to wear something that really stands out. It just means that you need to dress with intention and maybe take a step back and try and dissect why you like certain items, or for instance, if there's a trend going around that you're kind of keen to try, before you just jump in and try it, really try and think about what it is about the trend that you like and maybe how you can slightly adapt the trend and make it your own. And that's really when you start to stand out because you won't be just buying the latest trend and look like everyone else. The fourth one is that no one actually cares about what you wore last time. So we think that people notice and take time to consider what we wear, but in reality, they don't. And if they do, that probably means that you look great, because people remember great outfits, and this mindset that you can wear the same thing twice, which I hope and I pray a lot of people these days think. I have this like personal saying that I would rather wear a great outfit twice than a good outfit one time. Does that make sense? I hope so. Next we have, if it's a boring buy, it's usually a good buy. And this kind of sucks. I hear it now that I'm saying it out loud. But the pieces that feel boring are usually the one that you reach for time and time again. They might not feel like the coolest or the most exciting option, but they build the foundation of outfits that can. So those really basic staple pieces, of course we need them. And if you are lacking some of those really boring staple pieces and you kind of don't want to buy them, you can justify those purchases by thinking that they will be something that you can wear a lot and that will be practical. So I guess what I'm trying to say is that not every buy needs to be exciting or fun. It also needs to be practical. So I don't know if I can draw like a parallel to cooking. For instance, I don't think that buying eggs is particularly exciting, but eggs makes it possible for me to make pancakes, and pancakes can be really fun, and I can create pancakes with lots of different toppings. So without the eggs, I wouldn't be able to make the fun pancakes. The next one is choose one item and build from there. And what I mean by this is that getting dressed can feel really overwhelming when you try and think about everything at once. So what I like to do is I start with one piece. And so for me, it's usually the bottom of my outfit for some reason, but it's usually the trousers or which shoes I'm gonna wear. And then it just is so easy to choose from there, because that kind of limits my options as to what goes best with these trousers or those shoes. And that is my favorite hack when I want to get dressed quickly, because it just takes so many options out of my mind and it makes it go quite quickly. So try that if you haven't before. The next one is the shoes are what is off with your outfit. 9 times out of 10 in my experience, when an outfit feels off, is usually the shoes. And the most common mistake, I think, is when you try and change your shoes, or not change, but you try and decide on which pair of shoes you're gonna wear right before you leave the house. I think that you need to consider your shoes much earlier than that, because you make sure that it works basically. And if you're into fashion and style, you've probably heard about the wrong shoe theory before, but even then it's about picking a shoe that's mismatched with intention. So my advice is to give yourself some time to really play around with your shoe options before you leave the house, and that way it just becomes so much more intentional. Next we have, if you are uncomfortable in your outfit, it's gonna show. So no matter how great the outfit looks, if you don't feel comfortable wearing it, it's gonna show, either physically if you're like fidgeting with it a lot, or just your general self-confidence. So I believe that comfort isn't the opposite of style, it's such a huge part of it. So every day I leave the house, it's really important for me to feel comfortable. Next we have, don't try a new outfit when you're in a rush. And I guess we've all been through this. Life happens, you panic, and you just really don't know what to wear. But when you're short on time, I find that sticking to something I've worn before, or sticking to a combination that I know works, is just the best option really. Because if you try and experiment when you're under stress, or you have like this pressure in your mind that this outfit really needs to look good, then it's not going to end well. So save your creative outfits for when you have a little bit of more time, or just when it doesn't really matter if you get it right or wrong. Believe me, I've worn so many outfits that I don't like and that I regret, but at least in those cases where I feel like it was really important for me to wear something that looked nice, is usually some of my go-to outfits. Next we have, you're gonna regret buying the thing that you are unsure about. And this has happened to me so many times, but if you are hesitating in the store or browsing online and you're not quite sure, there's something just in your gut telling you that it's not right, and you have to convince yourself to get it, like, oh yeah, I'm not quite keen on the color, but maybe I should try it, maybe I should give it a go. It's not going to be something that you're going to want to wear. I always find that if I need to motivate it, it's not going to make me feel excited or great when I wear it the first time, and so I'm just not going to reach for it. So when I buy a new item, I try to either find excitement or practical purpose with the item. So for instance, it could be, oh, it's getting colder outside, I know that I really need a pair of gloves. Or it could be just a really beautiful coat that I'm super excited to wear. So I hope that this was insightful. I'm also going to leave some of my style questions here on the screen, and you can either just write them down. I'm also going to put them in the description box below for you to respond to. And these questions are kind of meant for you to take a step back and really think about like why you choose your outfit in a certain way, and hopefully it's going to help you identify your personal style a bit more and maybe help you experiment with certain items. I hope that you enjoyed this video. I would love to hear your thoughts and your reflections down in the comment section down below. And as always, if you did enjoy this video, please feel free to give it a thumbs up and maybe share this video with a friend. You can also follow me on TikTok or Instagram at Louise Wears. I wish you the best week ahead, and I'll see you again next time. Bye!